Welcome back to the Division 2. I can't stop laughing at how bad this bloody game is. They're not doing anything to make this game better. They've gone and literally cut their 100 floors skyscraper mode in half. Not a single person in the studio has a brain cell. Like, they don't even have a brain cell between them. We're going to start off, and I'm going to keep bringing this up until they've addressed it in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm going to keep bringing it up. This is a 100 floor building where the entire exterior looks like it's made from glass, yet the interior of all 100 floors doesn't contain a single window. There's not one window in this whole skyscraper across 100 floors, yet the exterior looks like the whole thing is made of glass. Another thing, there was absolutely zero mention of rainbow loot, so they've obviously either not had enough feedback or they just don't care about the rainbow loot. So absolutely nothing is going to change with the rainbow loot. Whatever percentage they had throughout the PTS will be final for the live build, which is dropping September 22nd, so next Tuesday. So with their, what do they call it, priority alerts, they fixed an issue stopping the weekly shade requisition project not resetting. So, you know the one you log in every single week, you do this quest where you have to, or this project where you have to hand in materials, you get an exotic cash from it. They somehow managed to break it and it wasn't resetting for players. Next week with Season 3 and TU11, both dropping same day, it's going to be normal maintenance time, so it should be around midday in the UK when it's available to play, or 11:30 AM or whatever time it is. Codename Nightmare is a quote-unquote unique event, and it's apparently, according to Yannick, this is how he said it, it's dropping with Season 4, so it's going to be in December. That's their coming this winter. It just is something to say, oh, there's more than just Season 4, but no, this event is dropping with Season 4. The first wave of the PTS featured enemies on floor 100, shooting you through walls. There was a cheese so that you could die in a certain area, respawn, and it said that you had cleared the entire game mode. But now in wave 2 of the PTS, those enemies on floor 100 were falling through the ground. So there's more and more bugs with them, and people seem to still think that this is going to release in a good state next week. No chance. The first thing I started seeing in quite a big number in the chat was that blue screens are still happening to this day on PS4. They still haven't fixed them, and there's no talk about it, no addressing it or anything like that, so they've obviously not had enough complaints. Their star players haven't got in touch, or whatever the case, but they're still happening. Absolutely no news on when or if they will ever get fixed. When they told us during Ubisoft Forward that the game will be backwards compatible, that was pretty obvious it was going to happen anyway. It happens with most, if not all, games. There will be absolutely no graphical update for next gen. There won't be no frame rate increase. It's happening exactly the same way with Division 1 as what it is with Division 2. They are just backwards compatible. You can play them on the new consoles, and they will be cross-gen within the same console family. So if you're on PS5, your friend's on PS4, you two can play together. If someone's on Series X and their friend's on Xbox One, you can play together. You just can't do cross-platform, so there won't be Xbox players and PlayStation players together. It's just cross-generation within the same console family. The Iron Horse Raid Discovery Mode is coming with TU11 as well. So people are going to be like, oh, they're doing a really, really good thing. Like, there's so much stuff coming with TU11. It's the same. Don't be fooled by all that shit they tell you, because it's the same stuff you've been playing for the last fucking 6 months, 18 months with some of it. Nothing's actually changing. They're just bringing in things that they should have brought in a long time ago. How long's the raid been out now? 30th of June it initially dropped. It's taken them 3 months to actually get this Discovery Mode into the game. And the Discovery Mode is probably going to be the same as it was with Dark Hours. Is going to feature half of the mechanics that are actually required, so players going from Discovery up to the normal version of the raid won't know half the mechanics. Also, you can matchmake in Discovery. You can't do it for the normal one, so you find your group in Discovery, learn half the mechanics, group up and go to the real thing, get your ass handed to you, and then you're sitting there wondering why you didn't know stuff from Discovery Mode, because these devs are fucking lazy. And yes, I want a bit of a rant today, because it's one of the things coming up. I'm so baffled, but we'll get there. They spoke about the PTS waves and all the updates in between, but they did have patch notes available, so they wasted stream time. The stream today lasted about 28 minutes or something along those lines, and probably a good 10 of it was going through PTS changes. We didn't actually get to see anything related to Season 3 besides the shrapnel trap, and then none of them between them even knew 100% for sure if they had spoke about it before 4, or if Hamish had literally just spoiled the end reward of Season 3. So what they've done with the Summit, or the Skyscraper mode, they've added a couple more objectives that are coming with TU11. Rogue agents will be able to spawn from hard to legendary floors. We already knew that. They've added exotic enemy fire teams, so you might see all 3 Warhounds at one time in the Skyscraper mode. Exotic enemy fire teams have existed in the game for a long time now. I remember them on State of the Game getting hyped about it, and it might be hard on legendary because you're going to see all 3 Warhounds at one time, and they've been overhauled and hyped up and or whatever, juiced up, fucking whatever bollocks, put on steroids. We'll go with that one. They've said all of this before. This is all stuff that exists in the game already. They're just putting it into the new mode. They're just implementing it like you normally do, but they're trying to pass it off with all these fancy, it's an exotic enemy fire team. We already fucking know what these enemies are like. We've already faced them and have been for months now. Ready for this? This is the part that's got me speaking so fast, and I'm angry with it, if I'm completely honest. You ready for this? Because this is the developers, I've got to get myself ready for this, resituating myself in my chair and everything. The developers' words for Summit. This is our new replayable content. Can you make it through all 100 floors of the Skyscraper mode? No, you fucking can't if you want to play on a tough difficulty, because if you want to play those tougher difficulties in the mode, you can now just go to the elevator for the very first time. You don't ever have to step foot on a floor below. You can go to that first elevator and start at floor 51. You can literally cut out half of this mode that has taken them months to create if you just want to play the tougher difficulties. I know, it's pretty pointless playing anything below 50, but they should have done it so that we can all still experience a 100 floor skyscraper, and they should have changed the difficulty. Like, you should be able to select, I want to go into this skyscraper on legendary difficulty, I want my first 20 floors challenging, the next 40 floors or the next 60 floors heroic, and then the final 20 to be legendary. Players should have had a choice of the difficulty they want to play. Now they've done this, if you want to play on heroic so that you're not getting purple drops all the time, you can literally just go in there and start at floor 51. So you wipe out half of their replayable content. They might as well have just called the fucking skyscraper bungalow and just have one floor. They should have done something stupid like that because it would have made more sense. TU 11.1. Yes, 11.1, we're already talking about that before 11's even dropped. They are going through the same balancing changes they've been going through for the last 6 months. They're going to be messing around with the difficulty again. They're going to be changing up the directives. They're going to be taking another look or revisiting the targeted loot and other stuff like that. So, what's the point? They've been doing it for the last 6 months. They're going to do exactly the same thing in 6 months' time. You're going to have exactly the same, balancing changes happening for the rest of this game's lifespan. What is the fucking point? At this stage of the game, they might as well just let players play this for a week, cancel Season 4 and Nightmare, and close the servers down and move on. There is absolutely no reason for them to continue doing this shit because it's all the same. Nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing. They created the layout of 5 different floors, kept the assets exactly the same, and just Control-C, Control-V, or right-click, copy, right-click, paste. That's all they fucking done with this mode is a copy-paste 5 floors into a 100 floor skyscraper. Assets haven't changed at all. There's exactly the same units and everything in exactly the same places. They had 5 objectives throughout 100 floors. They don't have the imagination to come up with anything new. Yet they can all sit there and sound like they know what they're talking about on State of the Game. Instead of talking about the Series X and the Series S, he was talking about the Xbox One X and the One S. People in chat were confused. How are you going to have a weekly show for a game if you don't know what you're talking about? Get someone on the show that's fucking experienced. Anyway, carrying on, because I want to get this video over and done with now. If you go into a group, let's just say your personal progress, you're level 40 of the skyscraper. If you go into a group and they're on floor 60, you've reached the checkpoint for floor 70, that is now your personal progress. So if I wake up really late next Tuesday, Con and Pete have been playing for a little bit, or I say a little bit, they've been playing for several hours, I wake up really, really late. They're on floor 90. I don't have to go to 51. I can join their group, start on 90 and just get the checkpoint from there. And I'm pretty sure it will unlock all previous checkpoints. So you can skip pretty much this entire mode if you want to. I don't know what they are thinking. They can't even be thinking. They're not using brains right now. They're using computers. And these computers are still, for whatever reason, running fucking Windows 98. Next up, if you don't want to play with directives on, you can play from floor 21 to 30, then you can take the elevator from 30 back down to 21. They don't talk about the other difficulties and the fact that 51 is heroic with no directives, 81 is legendary with no directives. They don't mention that. They just mention the difficulty that still contains purple loot and has absolutely no reason to be in there. If you are playing Warlords, if you own the Warlords expansion, your player goes up to level 40. When you're a max level player, you're not wanting purple loot. They haven't seemed to think of the amount of time the expansion's been out and the amount of people that will be at max level. Purple should not be in this mode. They shouldn't be in the open world for a max level player anyway. Some games it is different because purple gear can be better than like legendary or high end or whatever you want to call that rarity, but in this case purple is definitely not any better. It doesn't help you in any way, shape or form, so get rid of the fucking purple loot. They've done it for missions, do it for the open world, do it for Summit. Next up is the fact that they wasn't happy with the meta that they got hold of. Like, they was watching streams and videos from the PTS, and the meta they saw being created from players with the resistance mods being 20%, they wasn't happy. So they reverted those resistance mods back to their original. They're still 10% maximum. I don't think they actually had any feedback from players, because why would a player moan and say, no, this is too powerful? They wouldn't do that. So this is the developers controlling what happens in this game even more. They're going to continue to control and have the game playing how they want it to play. So anyone looking forward to those resistance mod changes, then scrap it. It's not fucking happening. Next up, and this one's annoyed me as well, they were talking about global events, and this pretty much confirms that the same 3 global events we've seen for Season 1 and 2 are going to be in Season 3 as well, because they said they've gone through a lot of effort and they've completely overhauled the modifiers of the original global events. So that's Polarity Switch, Reanimated and Guardians. They said that they've gone back through, changed the modifiers, they've taken a lot of the negatives out, and they've just left a load of the positives in there. So they've changed the way it plays. Boom, recycled content. Season 3 hitting it up. Season 4 is probably going to feature the same fucking bullshit, because these devs don't know what they're doing. There is still a lot of people talking about PvP. When's this coming? When's that coming? Are we going to get any changes to PvP? And it's obvious the only answer they had was that there's balancing changes happening in PvP. We don't have any content planned for it because we actually lost our PvP development team. Redstorm haven't worked on the game for a long time now, and that's why we haven't had a new Dark Zone that they were talking about in New York. We haven't had any new game modes or new maps or anything for PvP because Redstorm don't work on the game anymore. And I know for a fact I'm going to get comments, oh, you're so negative. Every video about this game, you're just chatting shit and talking down about the game. Well, from this video, give me one good fucking reason why I shouldn't talk down about it. Nothing has changed. All they've done is given you a building that you're already running missions in and just expanded it up. They've added an extra 99 floors to it and just changed some variation with a couple of the floors to make it look different. The fact is, when you go into the bottom floor of this skyscraper, you look through the trailer, the bottom floor, when they first go up to the elevator, you can see window frames and you can see light coming in through the windows of the bottom floor. But as soon as you get in the skyscraper, all the windows are gone because they don't care. They haven't put any time, effort or attention into this, because what 100 floor building in this world doesn't contain a window? I have several windows in my flat. I live on 1 floor. The last couple of things I want to talk about is, if you haven't, for whatever reason, in the last 3 months completed Season 3's Manhunt, you will have future opportunities to go and get your healing trap. So again, fucking pointless time gating it, because you eventually unlock it for everyone to get at a later date, similar to what they did with whatever other traps. What is it, the EMP sticky bomb? You was able to get that through Season 2. Healing trap, you can get it in Season 3, because apparently 3 months isn't long enough to go through 100 tiers when it's just not a lot of XP. You should be able to get it in 3 months. Players get it in like a couple of days. Someone in between a casual and a hardcore gamer will get it in a couple of weeks. You have fucking 12 weeks, 3 months. People still for some reason can't get hold of it. Summit is going to launch with 1 single piece of targeted loot throughout the whole skyscraper on each day, but they're looking at changes for TU 11.1. So again, they can't make changes quick enough so that the content is good. They're just going to release it how it is, which is a fucking shambles. However, there's new content. They've actually added something new into this game. Are you ready for this? You still have to play the same missions. You still have to do the same strongholds. You still have to do everything exactly the same in this game as to what you've been doing for the last 18 months. But as of next Tuesday, there will be not 1, But there will be 2 brand new directives coming to TU11, so you can really mix up how you play the game. Fucking yes, whoop whoop. So excited for 2 new directives. If you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. I couldn't fucking care less about directives. It doesn't make a difference. It changes the way you play. The playstyle changer, like the exotics in this game. And then they spoke briefly about the shrapnel trap, as I mentioned, but straight away in the chat people were saying that the trap's broken from the testing in the PTS. So it's all going to be broken, not going to work. There's going to be deltas, there's going to be blue screens if you're on PS4. TU11 next week is going to be an absolute fucking mess. That's going to be me at the end of shit talking it until I actually get hands on next week. That's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.